Alrighty, welcome on in. Live halftime thoughts right here from yours truly, Ryan Hickey. Okay, first thing is first. We got ourselves a ball game. We got ourselves a national title. Look, I'll be honest. Me of little faith. 17-3. Michigan is pounding the ball down Washington's defense's throat. Michael Penix Jr. is getting pressured. The offense is seemingly out of whack. I thought it was over. 17-3. When Michael Penix Jr. missed Rome Odunze wide open on fourth down, that would have been, forget about just a first down conversion, would have been a touchdown. I thought the game was over. Game was over right there. I even tweeted it. So now at least it's in writing still out there. But we got ourselves a game. In large part, let's start with this. Here's what I don't understand. Why is Michigan throwing the ball? Like period. Not like throwing it like too much. Why are they throwing it, period? They should not attempt another pass in this game. J.J. McCarthy is now winning you a national title. This offensive line, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, this rushing attack, along with this defense, they are winning you a national championship. And I just don't understand at this point, if you're Michigan, why you're attempting to throw the ball so many times when, in fact, anytime you run the ball, you've had so much success. Why are you getting away and why are you playing into Washington's defense's hands when you are gashing them on the ground? Like, look at these stats right now at halftime. You tell me, if you are Sharon Moore, offense coordinator for Michigan, what you would do. Right now, when it comes to rushing the ball, Michigan has run the ball 17 times for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. They are averaging 12.3 yards per carry. For reference, if that does not just scream out, run the ball every damn play, Washington for the game has 32 rushing yards. Now, it's still a decent factor, but Michigan is running the ball 12.3 yards per carry. Washington has 32 yards total in the first half rushing. So 209 rushing yards, 12.3 yards per carry on the ground for Michigan, while in the air, 5 of 11 for 81 yards. Why are they throwing the ball? It makes no sense to me. And again, I think if you attempt another pass in this game, you are playing right into the hands of Washington's defense. They want you to pass. They can defend these receivers, and they can defend J.J. McCarthy. He's nothing special. He's solid. But if you get into a throwing contest between Penix and McCarthy, Huskies are taking that all day. So if you're Michigan, look, reset here in the locker room, and you got to tell yourself, we are running the ball for 209 yards and 12.3 yards per carry. We're going to run the ball every single play in the second half. The fact that the run-pass discrepancy is 17-12 total is absurd. It's ridiculous that there's only a 5-play difference between running and passing with how well the rushing game has been going for the Wolverines. And okay, what's been the passing game for Michigan? Look, if you're the Wolverines, you want to win the national championship, you run the football. Flip side, if you're Washington, this game is now starting to tilt in your favor and being played on your terms. That is through the air. Again, Michigan is passing the ball, so now all of a sudden after what was a hot start, 2 quick touchdowns by Donovan Edwards right away, and 17 points on the board, felt like in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden in the second quarter, what has happened? Michigan's offense has slowed down, and now all of a sudden Washington's offense is coming to life. If you right now are Washington, again, down by a touchdown at halftime, number one, you're saying thank you. Thank you. That's a blessing. Number two, you're getting the ball to start the second half, and now all of a sudden the pass game is starting to open up. The momentum is turning towards your side. This game is now starting to be played on your terms, and the Huskies deserve a lot of credit for that, and that starts defensively. Defensively, they have turned this game around, whether it's a fourth down stop, whether it's a 3-and-out. The offense, late in the first quarter, early in the second quarter, did not do a really good job whatsoever of trying to get momentum and trying to get this, get this game rolling on their terms. And so now the fact that all of a sudden this game is being played how they like it, through the air, that is playing towards their favor. And that's right. Why right now you're down by a touchdown. getting the ball to start the second half. I mean, stats-wise, it's not terribly impressive for Penix, 13-21 right now, 128 yards, and does have that big touchdown. But I think that last drive, I think really showed you this team is starting to click. And look, I don't think Michigan's defense can stop them. Coming in one of the best defenses in all of college football, this is, when you talk about strength versus strength, which this is exactly what it is, Washington's offense is going to win that battle. They are going to win that battle of great offense versus great defense. And that last drive, I think you saw everything you needed to see to start to buy into Washington winning this game. 11 plays, 61 yards, a nice mix of run and pass. And what they have going for them as well is the fact that Kalen DeBoer does not know how to coach scared. He doesn't know. I mean, I think you have to do it when you're down 17-3, 4th and goal. But I think it's easy to tell yourself, hey, we kicked the field goal here. We get the ball coming out to start the second half. We could score here. Now, all of a sudden, we got ourselves a ball game. I think you could have easily convinced yourself, take the field goal, take the points, and now we get the ball to start the second half. We can get momentum that way. I give DeBoer a lot of credit going for it and 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Put the ball in his playmaker's hands, find the touchdown right there. Now, all of a sudden, you got yourself a game. You got yourself a game because you have wrapped, or I should say really ripped, momentum away from Michigan because you are playing the game now on your terms. And if Michigan can't wrestle it back, if they want to try to get into an air fight, if you will, of the passing game versus passing game, Washington's going to blow them out. They're going to blow them out in the second half if Michigan does not get back to the run and try to do what got them here. Again, Sherrone Moore deserves a lot of credit for what he's done so far this year, whether it's taking over for Harbaugh midway or whether it's just the fact that, even just his play calling all year long has been tremendous. But at this point, you really got to look at this game and say 12.3 yards per carry. Unless it's 3rd and 30, we are not going to attempt another pass. And if you're Washington's defense, tweeted out before, you got to play this game and force McCarthy to beat you. If you lose this game and J.J. McCarthy in the second half has a second half of his life, throws for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 incompletions, and he's just on fire. Okay. I think you can live with that if you're Washington. If you go air raid versus air raid and you lose that battle, so be it. It happens. But I think you can live with that more than you could live with just getting bullied on the ground and allowing Michigan's run game to lean on you. Because you can stop that. And I think you got to sell out and continue to load the box, put 6, 7, 8 guys in the box, slow them down, and try to really get after Michigan and make them uncomfortable and limit this elite run game that's been tearing up Washington for, let's call it the first quarter and a half. Because again, the second half of the second quarter, going to halftime, Washington's defense was really good. So if you are the Huskies, again, I think how you win this game is very simple. You play the game on your terms, which is on offense, airing it out. And so far, again, they're doing a really good job on that last drive, gaining momentum. And I think now it's going to carry over into the second half. But defensively, that's where this game is going to be decided. Talked about it on CBS Sports Radio over the weekend, and also talked about it on YouTube. If this is the first time, check out the channel. Welcome. Appreciate you tuning in and listening. But we did it on Hick's 5-minute picks, the game preview, which is only 5 minutes long, very quick and easy to digest. But we talked about this game is going to be won not on Michigan's defense versus Washington's offense on that side of the field. It's going to be won Michigan's offense versus Washington's defense. That is where the national title is going to be won. And for the first quarter and a half, Michigan's offense was kicking the crap out of them, dominating that matchup. But now you are seeing the tide turn. You're starting to get stops in the run game on first down. And now all of a sudden, Michigan is going to try to throw the ball, and they can't do it consistently. They're playing right into the hands of the Huskies. That's a big, big, big end to the first half there for the Huskies. I'm saying goodbye to my pick. I may have tweeted out and got emotional that game is over. I'm saying goodbye. I said Washington 34, Michigan 27. This is a game that, again, to me, at this point, feels like momentum is turned. Feels like now this game is in Washington's hands. Look, listen to the broadcast. It sounds like it's a very pro-Michigan crowd. But if you're Washington, you score a touchdown here out of the halftime locker room, that crowd's going quiet. That is going to be a funeral ASAP in Houston. You weather the storm, you survive. That, by the way, is what Washington does. They are elite at continuing to roll through adversity, absorbing punches, and then firing back, moving past it. So I have no doubt right now that they were able to survive that initial first wave. That I think they survived the worst of the storm. Michigan still may win, but I think they survived that early onslaught, the first quarter and a half of just bludgeoning in the run game, having some play action passes be opened up as well, and having Michigan just rip off chunks at a time. I think Washington has survived right now the worst of this game. And so going to the second half, they have momentum. They have momentum with that score. They also, though, have momentum because of their defense. And now the game is being played on their terms, which is huge for them. Again, these are two different styles of teams we're talking about, right? Washington wants to beat you in the air. Michigan wants to beat you on the ground. Two completely different philosophies when it comes to winning games on the field. And right now, Washington, that last, let's say, 7 minutes of the game, both defensively and offensively, they are making Michigan play their style of game. Michigan is not built to play Washington style, just like Washington is not built to play Michigan style. And right now, they're both wrestling to see who can get it. Huskies are doing a good job. And again, the more that passing game of Washington puts pressure on Michigan's defense, I think Michigan's going to keep on throwing. And that's going to play right into the hands right now of the Huskies. So halftime, 17-10. I think right now, to me, for how great Michigan played the first quarter and a half, the Huskies have the momentum. They are battle-tested. They are used to fighting from behind. They're used to taking punches and bouncing back and winning when no one believes in them. I think Washington is winning this game. They, to me, are winning this game in part from what we saw their last offensive drive. Needed it down 17-3. And what happened? You relied on your best player in Penix, relied on some of your best receivers, mixed in the running game as well with Dylan Johnson, who, by the way, I mean, he deserves what feels like a Purple Heart right now with how he is playing, with how much pain he's in, still gutting it out with basically no left side of his leg whatsoever. Ankle's banged up, knee is banged up, the right foot is banged up. I mean, I'm in pain just hearing the announcers talk about how much, pain he's playing through and how many injuries he has suffered recently. I give him a lot of credit. It's one thing to be out there. It's another thing, though, to be effective. And the effective part right now is the big question, obviously, because they're only rushing for 2 yards a carry, so it's not like the run game is killing it. But for Washington, they don't need to establish the run game. You can mix it in here and there to keep the Wolverines honest, but they are more than capable of beating you through the air, even if you know it's coming. Even if you know, hey, they're going to pass it every single down. I mean, Michigan kind of knew that in the last drive. They're going to throw the ball every single play. And what happened? Led to a touchdown. That's just how good these receivers are, how good Penix is. So we got ourselves a game here. I will go right now, even though it's 17-10 Michigan over Washington. Final score prediction from yours truly. Washington 34, Michigan 27. Offensive-filled second half that will see the Huskies lift up the national title trophy.